Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another video here on the Fantasy Fellowship channel. My name is Kyle. In this video, it's March 3rd. It's about 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time, and we're going to be going over the way too early 2022 fantasy football rankings. I'm looking at drafters.com. If you guys are unfamiliar with drafters.com, it is a best ball platform. It's also got a bunch of daily games. But for now, drafters.com, if you want to join drafters.com, there's a link in the description below. Sign up, get $10 free. I'll get $10 as well. So use that link if you want to join. But anyways, they are running a bunch of best ball competitions right now, and I'd like to when I think about the rankings for the upcoming fantasy season, I want to look at best ball or other websites where people are paying to make these picks. So by simply clicking on the rankings, I can look at and see the average ADP for the top players. So I thought this video would be a lot of fun to kind of go through the positions. We'll kind of review those, and then we're going to make like our own top 100 list. So I hope this is very beneficial. If you guys are new to the channel, definitely subscribe. Help us get over 400 subs, and let's get ready for the 2022 upcoming fantasy football season. And I guess if we get to rookies, I'll kind of skip those guys for now because I don't like to rank rookies until we know what team they're playing for and where they've been drafted. So in this video, let's get started here. Again, this is, I believe it's full PPR, and it is 4-point passing touchdown. So if you play in those leagues, excellent. And let's get into the video. So Jonathan Taylor is at the top of the list. He's the consensus number one. He's going at 1.7 average overall. If we want to just filter by running backs, this is kind of the top, top 10 or so of the running backs. You have Jonathan Taylor at number one. Christian McCaffrey is the clear number two. Derrick Henry coming in at number three. Austin Eckler really close at number four. So you see Derrick Henry's got a 4.9 ADP there, and our guy Austin Eckler coming in at 5.2. Then you have a little gap there to Dalvin Cook at 9.6. Najee Harris coming in around 11.4. Joe Mixon, a little gap down to 14.9. Javonte Williams, holy crap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Javonte Williams, the second-year running back out in Denver, coming in as our RB8. DeAndre Swift, RB9. Alvin Kamara coming in around average ADP around 20. He's our top 10 running back. So we'll get into some of the rest of these guys. Let's go take a peek at QBs. The top QBs, Josh Allen, the first guy off. He's going off around pick number 25. Pat Mahomes around pick number 30. Justin Herbert around pick number 41. Lamar Jackson around pick number 48. Joey Burrows around 55. Kyler Murray around 56. So those guys are really closely linked. And then you have Dak Prescott at 65, Aaron Rodgers at 70, and Matt Stafford at 75. You do see second-year player Trey Lance here coming in at number 10, I believe here. And you look at his fantasy games. He had 3 starts. He played week 17 against Houston, 19 fantasy points. Week 5 against Arizona, 14.58, not the best. And then Seattle, 20 fantasy points. So 3 starts, 3 interesting outlooks there. Let's move it to the wide receiver. Your toppers, it's Cooper Kupp. That's not even really a close decision. Jamar Chase at number 2 is very interesting. He's coming in 5th or 6th player off the board. Justin Jefferson coming in number 3. Davonte Adams as player number 4. I think there's a lot of speculation, that maybe he's not with the Packers or maybe not with Aaron Rodgers. So that's why he's low. I think he would be the consensus number 2 if he does return to Green Bay. Tyreek Hill, wide receiver 5, Debo, wide receiver 6, Stephon Diggs, wide receiver 7, AJ Brown, wide receiver 8, Waddle 9, and CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver 10. So that's kind of fun there. Let's look at the tight ends. Travis Kelsey, still the number 1 tight end. Mark Andrews, number 2. Kyle Pitts, number 3. Waller, number 4. George Kittle, tight end 5. So you have 5 tight ends in the top 40 or so for ADP-wise. Then you get TJ Hawkinson, Dallas Goedert, tight end 7. Dawson Knox is TE number 8. Dalton Schultz, number 9. And Noah Fant, number 10. So you have 10 tight ends in the top 100. And then defense, kicker, we'll kind of avoid those guys. We'll look at that in the end. But let's get our top 100 board going. I think it's going to be very easy for me to put Jonathan Taylor as the first overall pick here. And then coming in at number 2, if you have the number 2 overall pick, Christian McCaffrey is kind of the guy that makes me want to go all in on. But there's a lot of factors, I guess, with the Carolina Panthers. Is one, who's the quarterback? Is the offensive line going to get better? I'm very concerned about some of the pieces there. And Christian McCaffrey I'm nervous about wear and tear. I have questions. So for me, I don't have any questions with Jonathan Taylor. that's fine. Lock him in. I think I'd almost rather just take, if I'm at number 2, I'd almost just rather go ahead and just take Cooper Kupp, because it's clear that he is the best receiver. I didn't get Jonathan Taylor, the best running back. I'll take Cooper Kupp. And then I suppose, looking at this list, like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Davonte Adams, that's a really good trio of wide receivers. But guys like CMC, Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, I'm probably just going to rank all those running backs next. I think that's what we're going to do here. We're going to round out the RBs in the top 25. And if I'm being honest, like, I might just take Derrick. If I had to put my money on it, I might just take Derrick Henry over Christian McCaffrey. Just, again, I like the Titans offense better. Christian McCaffrey, as great as he is, again, a lot of questions there. Don't know who the quarterback is right now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm even going to rank Austin Eckler over Christian McCaffrey, because I'm taking Justin Herbert, man. And then so I'm gonna put Christian McCaffrey there as my 5th overall pick, and anywhere in that top 5 I can see him going. But again, as I record this, it's March 3rd. Way too early fantasy football rankings for 2022, and that's where we are at. So we have Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, Christian McCaffrey in our top 5. I feel pretty good about that, especially, this is PPR, and some of these guys here, of course, Derrick Henry, not really a PPR guy. Either is Jonathan Taylor, for to be honest, but he gets maybe 2 or 3 catches per game. But Eckler, McCaffrey, Cooper Kupp, massive PPR players. And then, at this point, it gets kind of pick your poison. Do you want to start taking some of the receivers off the board here, or do we continue with a guy like Dalvin Cook? I'm pretty excited about a guy like Dalvin Cook. I might actually, to me, there's still, Dalvin Cook down to Najee Harris, to Joe Mixon, Javonte Williams. I still think Dalvin Cook kind of sits slightly above all these guys for me, and I expect Minnesota to be a lot better this year as a team. New head coach, new offensive coordinator system going in there. And I believe that they're going to implement some kind of the LA West Coast offense into this. So I expect Dalvin Cook to be, the major piece of that offense still. And then we get to some fun questions. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Davonte Adams, Tyreek Hill, Debo Samuel. To me, so again, it's March 3rd. If I was guaranteed Aaron Rodgers and Davonte Adams back in Green Bay, the easy answer is to just put Davonte Adams here, and you're probably gonna almost think about Davonte Adams at up here with Derrick Henry and Austin Eckler and CMC. So for now, I'm gonna assume Rodgers, Davonte, everything's good to go back in Green Bay. Otherwise, we'll worry about that later in a separate video. And then you're looking at Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Debo Samuel. Like, these guys are all kind of the same type of high action receiver for me. So I'm very much into these guys. But the question is, do you take a Najee Harris? Do you take a Joe Mixon over one of these guys? So we have 2 receivers in our top 7, 5 running backs. I think for me, let's go ahead and I'll tell you what, I love Jamar Chase. I don't know if I trust him this early. I think Justin Jefferson, a 3rd-year player, I kind of like that a little bit more. So we'll go ahead and lock Justin Jefferson in there at number 8. I think maybe Debo Samuel, who's a little bit more versatile, as well as an interesting piece. I think Najee Harris for sure too. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put Najee Harris as number 9 overall here. I'm even going to put Joe Mixon, because those are my running backs that I think are locks. And after that, we can kind of nitpick. But again, we're moving here. Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill. I'm just going to go ahead and load all these wide receivers in there. And I don't really care about being too accurate right now. I just want to get them kind of close. I think Jamar Chase, Tyreek, Debo, these guys are all, late first rounders potential, and a lot of fun there. And then we can kind of get into, I'll even throw Stephon Diggs into that, that group of receivers there. And then we're going to, just for our due diligence, let's get Travis Kelsey out of the way. He is the best tight end. And as I do my rankings now, I'm going to just kind of do them in tiers, where Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, Debo Samuel, Stephon Diggs, I really don't know if there's a correct answer between one of those receivers. So I'm just going to say, just group them together, pick your favorite one of the bunch there. And then after Travis Kelsey here at 15, we can have some fun here, whether it's Javonte, DeAndre Swift, Alvin Kamara, Nick Chubb, Antonio Gibson. There's a lot of really good running backs in this range. The receivers you're looking at, A.J. Brown, Jalen Waddle, CeeDee Lamb. It's hard to make a decision at this point here. I do like the upside of the receivers, A.J. Brown, Waddle, and CeeDee Lamb. Those guys do feel a little bit more guaranteed to be successes, whereas the running backs, I might actually I'm going to push the value of the running backs a little bit lower here. So AJ Brown, Waddle, and Lamb, I'm going to lock those guys in. And now I can get to those really fun running backs. So Javonte Williams, excited about him, but I'm still probably going to take, Nick Chubb, Alvin Kamara, Antonio Gibson, especially if no JD McKissick's a lot of fun. But I'm going to put Javonte there, assuming no Melvin Gordon. We'll put Swift in there, and then we'll put Gibson. And why not? We'll even I guess we'll wait on Cam Akers. But we have this big group of running backs here: Chubb, Kamara, Javonte, DeAndre Swift, and Antonio Gibson. So that's basically getting us to the end of the second round of fantasy drafts. And you know what? Why not? Let's throw Mark Andrews in there. He's the last pick of the second round in a 12-man league. And then what's on our board here? You're starting to see some quarterbacks: Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. A little bit a while after that, guys like DK Metcalf, T. Higgins, Keenan Allen, those are the top of the top at the wide receiver position. Deontay Johnson, again, we don't know who the quarterback is, but DJ Moore, don't know who the quarterback is. Mike Evans, don't know who the quarterback is. Terry McLaurin, don't know who the quarterback is. So I think, to me, DK Metcalf, don't know who the quarterback is. So Keenan Allen and T. Higgins are the names that stick out. I'm going to go ahead and punch those guys in because I know who their quarterback is. I love their quarterback. I love Joe Burrow. I love Justin Herbert. Fantastic picks in the third round, T. Higgins, Keenan Allen. And then we got some questions, whether it's Saquon, whether it's Cam Akers, Aaron Jones. This is where the questions at running back really begin. Ezekiel Elliott falling pretty far. I don't have any questions on the quarterbacks, though. So Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, I think that's where you start to see these guys begin to fall. Early third round. I'm looking for guys with not so many questions. You know what? I might even put Justin Herbert up there in this tier, and I'm going to do so. Justin Herbert early in the third round. And then what are we thinking here? DK Metcalf with Seattle. If you tell me Russell Wilson's not going to play in Seattle, I don't know what to do with DK Metcalf as of today, March 3rd. I really like DK. He did play pretty well with Geno Smith, so like his range of outcomes with a poor quarterback, they're still gonna lob it up to DK Metcalf and figure that out. But you got to think Tyler Lockett. The discrepancy of DK Metcalf here in the third round and Tyler Lockett, not even on the list here until pick number 48. So that's a little interesting to me. Let's go ahead and start to filter out some of these running backs. So what we're going to do here is we're going to wait on some of the wide receiver questions. Let's go ahead and I know Saquon Barkley, you got to think of him now as a running back too until, further notice. Cam Akers, I do like Akers a lot this year. Aaron Jones, we're starting to get, these are really fun running back twos here. And if we go a little bit further, like you got Montgomery, Ezekiel Elliott, J.K. Dobbins, I think we can wait on some of these guys. Let's go ahead and get we don't have any questions on Pitts, Waller, Kittle. I think these guys are all kind of, again, so pick number 33, 34, and 35. That's all end of the third round. If you play in a 12-man league, that's the last pick of a third round. So that's when you have to start thinking about some of those tight ends. So I like that decision-making there. And then why not? Let's go ahead and get DK Metcalf off the board here as the last pick in the third round. And then looking at the board, you have a ton of wide receiver talent: Hopkins, Deontay, DJ Moore, Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin. Again, but who are the quarterbacks for those four receivers? I like DeAndre Hopkins. I think he's going to be a valuable player, and especially as a fourth-round pick. But we're starting to get to that point in Hopkins' career where it's starting to feel like Julio Jones, where the injuries have, amounted, and he's going to be hard to trust. But I do like Hopkins here as the best pick. I guess, looking at some of these receivers, St. Brown, Calvin Ridley at this point of the draft, it is kind of unfair. But let's go ahead and just lock in Hopkins, Deontay. Assuming we know who the quarterbacks are for these receivers, I'm feeling pretty good about them. And you're starting to see round 4 be the wide receiver round. I'm going to lump Calvin Ridley into that. I'm going to throw Amari Cooper into that and Tyler Lockett. Unsure where Godwin's going to play, but I think once he signs, he's going to lock himself into that. So round 4 is a heavy wide receiver round. I think you could throw Michael Thomas into that, depending on where he ends up. Michael Pittman Jr., interesting name. We'll get to him in a bit. But now we've kind of cleared out the wide receivers here. You see some of the quarterbacks start to bubble up, whether that's Lamar and Joe Burrow. Look at some of these, these running backs, David Montgomery. Let's go ahead and get some of these running backs off the board. You got David Montgomery off. Let's get Ezekiel Elliott in the 4th round and J.K. Dobbins. So there we go. We just rounded out the 4th round of our draft. We got Montgomery, Ezekiel Elliott, and J.K. Dobbins. I might even continue to go on a little running back run here with Josh Jacobs and Eli Mitchell. Travis Etienne, still not sure what's going to happen with that split between Etienne and James Robinson. Michael Carter popping in nice here. Breece Hall, the first rookie on the list. A lot of fun there. And then I'm starting to get some questions here on the running backs. So let's pivot here in the 5th round. We put Jacobs and Elijah Mitchell at the top there. I want to get these QBs out of the way, whether that's Lamar, Burrow, Kyler Murray. We don't really have questions on these guys. Dak Prescott, 5th round, even Aaron Rodgers, assuming again he returns to the Packers and gets Davonte Adams. I think the 5th round right now is shaping up to be a pretty decent quarterback round. Because otherwise, like, you're looking at the receivers here. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Elijah Moore, really fun second-year receivers like Devonta Smith even. Boom bust type wide receiver talent here. Pittman Jr., Mike Williams. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and we're entering the 5th round here. I want to get, because there's kind of like a clear tight end breakage coming up here. I do think TJ Hawkinson could be a lot of fun, but I want to get some of these receivers off my board here. I do think Michael Pittman Jr. might be one of my favorites at this point. Mike Williams, assuming he returns to the Chargers, that's a hell of a value there at the middle of the end of the 5th round. Is a lot of fun. I do think Elijah Moore could be a fun option here. Hunter Renfrow, Devonta Smith, Darnell Mooney. And again, you got to think Darnell Mooney is going to be a wide receiver 1 this year with Allen Robinson on the move. I think Mooney is going to be again, if you're watching this and it's, again, this is March 3rd. If you're watching this in June, July, I think we might have Darnell Mooney like even higher. But let's go ahead and get, again, some more of these. To me, these are wide receiver. Some of the guys that are on this list, Hunter Renfrow, Devonta Smith, these are guys that are going to probably be wide receiver 3s for you on draft day, but they could just outperform everything. I'll even group Marquise Brown into that. Brandon Cooks, sure. Brandon Ayuk, and then we're starting to get into some questions down here. I'll throw Amon-Ra in there, Elijah Moore, Michael Thomas. So a ton of receivers here leaking into the 6th round. And then I'll start to think about ETN. I could put Michael Carter a little bit higher. I want to see what that, again, it's hard to trust the Jets offense. I don't really want to get too invested into that right now. But anyways, some of the running backs starting to come off in the 6th round. Travis Etienne, Michael Carter. There's rookie Breece Hall. It depends on his layout, but I'll put him there in the 6th round. Leonard Fournette, Singletary, Damian Harris. I feel pretty good about all these guys being grouped in there. It really depends on where Leonard Fournette signs. But we got a good list of running backs here. We'll even throw in, it depends. If James Conner returns to Arizona, I want James Conner on my team. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, we'll wait on him. But let's go ahead and get TJ Hawkinson off the board and get Dallas Goedert off the board, as well as let's get Stafford off the board, and then we're good on quarterback for a little bit. We'll wait on quarterback. I suppose Jalen Hurts could be a lot of fun there. I'll put Hurts up there. I'll even put Russell Wilson up there, depending on where he ends up. But we're starting to have some. This is where it gets kind of fun because different mind approaches. What's Adam Thielen's health? Do you want to take an older receiver like Adam Thielen, or would you rather just take rookie Gabe Davis or Brandon Ayuk? There's a lot of. This is where the draft is won. This is where you can win your fantasy leagues with some of these type of players here. I'll throw Dawson Knox, Trey Lance, Dalton Schultz here into the 8th round. We're starting to see if Rashad Penny's the starting running back for the Seattle Seahawks. Sure, I'll take him. I'll take a flyer on Kenneth Walker. A.J. Dillon should be much higher than the 7th round. That's for damn sure. And now we're looking at some fun receivers, whether it is Allen Robinson with a new team, Jerry Jeudy, Rashad Bateman. We'll throw Gabe Davis, Ayuk. We'll throw Adam Thielen, Treylon Burks, Robert Woods, assuming he's coming back healthy. We'll see about Odell Beckham coming back. I'm not sure if that's going to be a trio of receivers that he has to worry about, but Robert Woods, you'll have to start thinking about, a rookie receiver like in Garrett Wilson, wherever he lands. And we're starting to fill out our final positions here in our top 100. Let's go ahead and we should get Cordero Patterson in there. I don't know why he's not higher on this list right now. Well, I'll throw Clyde Edwards in there because I think Darrell Williams is a free agent. Kadarius Toney needs to stay healthy. Justin Fields, we'll take a flyer on him. I really like Tony Pollard. I think Tony Pollard needs to be in the top 100. Pat Freiermuth could probably be in the top 100. Chase Claypool, we don't know who the quarterback is. Miles Sanders, potentially top 100 player. If Christian Kirk stays with his team in Arizona, he's going to be a top 100 player. I'm going to sneak Isaiah Spiller into there. He's a top running back talent this year. Maybe Chase Edmonds. I'm just looking for any other flyers that are just too low right now, as we have 2 spots left. Take a flyer on a receiver in Drake London. He's going to be a fun wide receiver prospect this year. Kareem Hunt. Let's just lock it in with the running backs, Miles Sanders and Kareem Hunt. So that's going to do it. Our top 100 set. Again, nothing I did here is set in stone. It's just for fun. Again, this whole video, the idea is to just simply to do it for fun. So I'm going to hit save on that. Maybe this is a fun video to come and revisit. So anyways, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. And I don't know. Have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this. And we'll see you guys in future videos. Peace.